Guys, Daryl Dike is back and he's a scoring machine. So what does this mean? Is Orlando City's multi-million-dollar man the USMNT's top striker? Welcome guys, my name is Brian McDonough and this is Club and Country, where we talk about all things surrounding the beautiful game here in the United States. Today we'll be discussing our long-awaited number 9. But before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe for all future episodes of Club and Country. I will be posting an episode every Tuesday and live streaming the soccer-specific podcast every Thursday. So if you love exploring the landscape of soccer here in the United States and abroad, this channel is for you. In order to know Daryl Dike is to understand the insane path Dike has taken over the past year and a half. So bear with me here, because the sequence of events is absurd. Let's first throw it back 2 years to the 2019 NCAA men's soccer semifinal. Daryl Dike's University of Virginia is taking on Wake Forest. The date is December 13th and the Cavaliers are one match away from title berth against Georgetown University. It's the 26th minute in a scoreless match when out of nowhere, Dike tracks a long ball and smashes it near post to put UVA up 1-0 against the Demon Deacons. Fast forward again. This time the date is March 6, 2021, and the opponent is Birmingham City in the English Championship. Dike does it again, however the stakes being slightly different. Daryl scores a near post screamer against a formidable English opponent, which is kind of a far cry from the college scene at UVA. So how does an MLS Superdraft player go from scoring a collegiate goal at the end of 2019 to being featured in the English Championship just about a year later? Don't worry, we'll get there. The Orlando City man was drafted on January 5th, 2020 with the 5th pick in the MLS Superdraft. Although Dike was an incredible talent out of college, his selection for Orlando City was marked with skepticism, as soccer fans domestically are typically very critical, and rightfully so, of players coming out of the MLS Superdraft. Nevertheless, Orlando decided to select Dike in the first round, and his impact was immediate. Not long after draft night, Dike made his MLS debut in the Major League Soccer is Back tournament. Since that debut on July 25th, 2020, we have all been riding the Dike hype train, and deservedly so. During the 2020 MLS campaign, Dike's first ever professional season, he scored 8 goals in 17 regular season matches. Following his productive season with the Lions, Dike was called into Greg Berhalter's winter USMNT camp. Daryl would go on to make his USMNT debut in a 7-0 victory over Trinidad and Tobago. And just 1 day later, Orlando City would announce Dike's loan to English Championship side Barnsley. I know it's a lot to process, but Dike somehow managed to get drafted, score 8 goals for club, and get called up to the national team in less than 1 year. The icing on the cake for Dike was his loans to Barnsley, and he absolutely crushed it. In 19 appearances with Barnsley, Dike scored 9 times. He quickly became a fan favorite, and there was even talks about Barnsley purchasing Daryl Dike for good. Unfortunately for Barnsley, Orlando City's thought ahead and placed Dike's price tag at $20 million. It's safe to say that not many English Championship teams would ever make that purchase, especially in the middle of a COVID-stricken football economy. So let's fast forward to Tuesday, June 22nd. In front of a packed Exploria Stadium, Dike scored a brace and stole the show. The return of Dike has many Lions fans, including myself, asking, what's next? Is Dike the real deal? The answer is, let's be patient, but we deserve to be excited. So what can we really expect from Dike? I firmly believe that the move to the English Championship was fantastic for Daryl. As a player, Dike certainly matured while over in England in comparison to the 2020 style of play in Orlando City. Dike was forced to become more accustomed to a high-tempo passing style at Barnsley. Dike is fairly skilled in ground duels when he has possession, but Daryl had to quickly get used to more of a link-up style of play in England. In fact, his maturity in terms of tempo and his movement has already been noticed since his arrival back in Orlando by the Lions coach Oscar Pareja. In a recent interview with MLS, Pareja stated, "I think he's improved a lot. His maturity is very clear. His movements are solid. I can see the connection he's making with teammates, with Chris Mueller in particular. It's making more sense, the game itself." During the course of his loan, Barnsley noticed that Dike not only has great nose for goal, but makes really good shot selections. Although Daryl is an aggressive striker who is willing to go at you, he is very selective in his shooting. In terms of Dike's expected goals per shot, he was about 2x the average striker in the EFL Championship, which is pretty impressive given his output of 9 goals in only a couple months stint. Dike to me is the type of striker who likes to attack inside from the wing. He's not going to be real active in the box, but is more willing to make a run and score from oblique angles. So I'm saying a lot of positives about Dike. Are there any negatives in his game? Of course there are. Dike struggles on the ball in crowded spaces. Dike at times can appear to be more focused on the physical battle with the defender than the actual ball in possession. The good news is Daryl is only 21 years old, and when forced to make a technical adjustment, he has excelled thus far. So where does this play Daryl Dike amongst other US strikers? I still think it's too early to tell if Daryl is the best current striker, but I believe that Dike is the most exciting option at this point in time. Over Berhalter's tenure, we have seen multiple strikers, wingers, out of position really, and different players being featured as the USMNT's number 9. Zardes, Altidore, Sargent, Giacchini, Ferreira, Sebachu, Weah all have been called on one time or another as a sub or a super sub under Berhalter. So who's the US true number 9 at the moment? In my opinion, the number 9 position for the USMNT is up in the air. Josh Sargent does appear to be the leader in the race, but with World Cup qualifying yet to commence, Dike has the opportunity to showcase his worth in this summer's Gold Cup. Remember, Dike is coming off of a national team goal and a brace in the most recent MLS match for Orlando City. It is safe to say that Daryl is in really good form at the moment, and I think he could be the most intriguing US striker we've seen since Clint Dempsey. Like Dempsey, Dike will make the move to Europe, and according to Orlando City's CEO, we'll most likely see Dike move to Europe either this summer or next winter. When asked about the possibility of a Dike transfer during the summer window, he stated, and I quote, "We understand that players, especially in that age, have the desire to go to Europe and play for a top-tier league. I think Daryl has the opportunity. He proved himself to have the opportunity, and we will help him to accomplish his potential and his desire." Dike certainly has the potential. If he can stay healthy and maintain the desire to be great, we very well could see Dike starting in these World Cup qualifying stages. Please leave me a comment below if you agree or even disagree with any of my prior statements about Daryl Dike. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and until next time, go USMNT. I'll see you guys next week.